Hello, my beautiful souls. Or should I say, good night? Have a beautiful night. It's so late. And I am literally sitting here in my pajamas in bed and recording this message for you because you won't let me sleep. It's another faceless message for the part of the collective that likes to keep me awake at night. This one felt, I don't know, it's been so quiet over days now. And there's actually a message I've been trying to bring through for quite a while now. And every time when I wanted to sit down and record it, something else came through. And I was thinking about that while I was brushing my teeth. You know, those activities where your brain just likes to wander. And I thought about that and I was like, that's interesting. Why is that? Maybe I will make another attempt tomorrow. And this triggered this part of the collective, what it seems like. And I could immediately feel the resistance. And it's a quiet resistance. Like, you are probably the quiet type that might be a little stubborn. I know this stream of energy. Like, you're the ones who are giving me the headaches usually. At least no headaches this time. Thank you. So this feels like a quietly stubborn energy, like I'm digging my heels in type of person that just won't budge. They will just do their thing. They are more like working underground, not actively working underground, but just like staying in their tracks, just going about their day, about their like minding their own business, but being so persistent in that and so quietly confident, but bordering on, like I said, stubbornness and sometimes maybe a little bit inflexible. It feels like if you set your mind on something, then this is just what you will do. And there's this aspect here that while this can be a great trait, right? This is a very valuable personality trait to have, not to get blown over by every gust of wind. But yeah, it of course has its downsides, and can make you maybe a little bit too much set in your tracks, or hard to convince that something else might be true than what you came to believe to be true for yourself. And I cannot emphasize enough the quiet quality about all of this. I cannot really, there's no better way to explain it for me than to say, like, it's this quiet strength. It's not loud, it's not flashy, it's not, look at me, here I am, I'm flexing my muscles, not the front row warrior kind of tight, but this silent rock that just will not move. And I see like the Atlantic Ocean waves just crashing against it, and it just stands there, still, silently, not moving. That's you. Okay, so there seems something to be with the third chakra. I'm sorry that I'm coughing here. I try to cough not into the microphone. So there's something about the throat chakra, and this makes sense because the kind of resistance that came through about this one topic that I wanted to talk about, the way the resistance feels has very much what I usually call like the witch wound fingerprint on it. And you don't have to take the witch wound that literally, for me, it's basically anything where you just don't feel comfortable going public, or, I mean, public doesn't always doesn't always mean that you are broadcasting your face and your opinions over a social media platform, or like on a huge public stage, but it can basically mean simply showing up in your life with your friends, with your family, and to show who you really are, show your the parts, the sides of you that maybe are not as mainstream or usually not that well received by a bigger collective part of society. And it's interesting because I'm struggling to find words, and I kind of talk in a complicated way, or the way I'm structuring my sentences feel complicated to me. So it seems like you are maybe a little bit of an overthinker, and there seems to be some kind of maybe overcomplicating things in general, but because it's coming through here so strongly, this usually doesn't happen just randomly. Maybe you are, like I said, overcomplicating something. And this brings me back to the stubborn energy. This sometimes when we are so settled on one way to go about certain things, then we tend to make our lives more complicated than they have to be. And I mean, sometimes that's fine, and like when we have really strong beliefs about something or certain values and we don't mind going the extra mile, then that's okay, that's fine. But sometimes we made a decision at a certain point in our life, and then we just never questioned it again, or we just made this part of who we are, of our identity. And the thing is, when we grow throughout our life and we change, and we outgrow certain versions of ourselves. We let go of certain identities. We just change, we evolve. And all of us have that, right? They're like those things that we just keep on doing and we don't question them. And maybe they are not fitting this new version of us anymore, but we don't really realize that because we just don't question it. And now the stream of information just stopped, and I felt like I was in a dead end. And this seems to be the thing here for you that wants to come through. That maybe you maneuvered yourself into a position in life where you just decided something for yourself at some point in your life. And it doesn't mean that at that time, the decision, like that you didn't mean it or that it was the wrong decision. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying like for the version back then, that who you were at this time, it was the right decision because you made it for yourself at that moment in time. But you've changed and evolved since then. And so it's necessary for us time and time again to look at our lives and reflect on the different parts of our lives and really take a close look and think about them and see, is this still serving me? Or is the version of me that benefited from this decision, is this version maybe gone? But I'm still clinging to this decision just because I am the kind of person who thinks I have to stick with my decisions. And there's like a great sense of loyalty coming through, loyalty to others, but it feels like that you've become loyal to yourself, mostly through disappointment and hardship that you encountered in your life. There's a sense of loneliness here. I hear you got comfortable in your lone wolf cave. And it seems like that you are questioning whether or not you are ready to leave that cave, if it's safe, if it's the right thing to do. It served you probably for feels like a pretty long period of time. And I'm mostly saying that because your energy feels like it's slow moving. There are not really rash decisions. There's not much. It's like this huge container ship that like has to start like when it wants to make a maneuver, it has to start like a day before the real turn has to happen. I mean, I have no clue about ships, but I just know I think I heard somewhere that when they want to slow down, that they have to sometimes start like half a day or a day before they actually want to be like come to a halt or like have to be slowed down. So that's the kind of energy that's hitting me here. So this is why I'm saying you've probably been in this for a long time, because your energy doesn't feel like it changes very quickly. So yeah, but it seems like you're thinking about maybe stepping out of your comfort zone because, like I said, you've been in there for a while and it served you, but now you get the feeling of, well, is there more? Like, that's not all. It doesn't feel like this is supposed to be the state or the place I'm in for the rest of my life. It feels like you are actually ready for something different. But with that, I mean, when you've been in one place for so long, it's it's not easy to leave that safe space to go out into the world again. And it seems like that this is not just about, okay, I'm leaving behind a safe space, and this is a quote unquote simple change, like maybe I'm going to move or I'm starting a new job or something. I mean, of course, this could be part of all of that. But to me, it feels more like, and there comes like this throat chakra thing comes in. And the witch wound I talked about, that there's something where you feel like you have to express more openly, like express more of yourself to the world, more publicly, whatever that means for you. And this feels challenging, which is very understandable. I have worked a lot with the witch wound. I wouldn't be sitting here and recording the kinds of messages I am recording if I hadn't. Because I'm not putting out the type of content that people, well, what does it mean if I say what people like? What they like to hear. There are some explosives in there, usually. Up until now, nothing has exploded in my face so far, but it's a pretty small audience, so I'm kind of waiting for the day when it's gonna happen. I'm kind of prepared, I don't know. Oh yeah, there's the coughing again. It seems like you are a little bit concerned about whatever it is you want to do, how people will react, the backlash. There seems to be some concern about how people will receive what you have to or want to bring forward. And it seems like you're in a bit of a dilemma because on the one hand, you can feel that you have to do that for yourself, that I hear you owe it to yourself. But on the other hand, it feels not safe to do that. And let's be clear here, it also feels like you've worked a lot on those things. So the reason why this is coming up here is that it wants to be moved through and cleared out. It feels more like residual energy, not like a full-blown block. And to be honest, it feels like you've actually made up your mind. You already know that you want that. You already know, like, you're already standing in the entrance or exit of your cave. This is more about, like, really finding the courage to go to take those last few steps. And okay, so now Spirit is bringing me back to the thing that I said about I'm kind of waiting for one day the pushback will come. Hasn't happened so far with my content, but it will at some point. And that this is something I've made my peace with. But they are also saying that usually it's not as bad as we anticipated. And I don't want to diminish any kind of experiences that people might have had or have with cyberbullying and shitstorms and all of that. But I guess this is something that every person that has some form of a public presence nowadays will sooner or later come in contact with this kind of reaction. And let me tell you, this is something that was holding me back for years. That was the biggest reason why I did not start any kind of podcast, or originally I wanted to start a podcast before I turned to YouTube. But anyways, yeah, that was like the number one reason why I didn't start sooner. And when I set the intention for myself that I indeed would want to do something like that, I entered a phase of intense witch wound clearing. That was like part of my journey. And I feel like this actually helped a lot, or helps a lot now. That for one, I feel quite confident in that whatever people project onto me, or with what kind of ideas or opinions they come at me, that I don't really care. And of course, I don't know if one day I will get like a huge shitstorm or something like that. Could happen, of course. And then I will probably care. But it's a risk I'm willing to take. And the reason why is because I think it's important what I do. And I really believe in what I do. And while, yes, this might bring about some uncomfortable experiences now and then, and don't get me wrong, I really don't want to experience that. I do not fancy a shitstorm. But if it happens, I will survive. I will survive. It will be okay. It will be fine. But when it comes to like people criticizing me, or like those online trolls that just, the keyboard warriors who think that they know everything and they just have all the knowledge in the world, and they think they have to put you down or have to push their opinions on you. I really don't care. I really don't care anymore. I cared so much over my whole life about those people, and I just don't care anymore. Because I see them for who they are, and I see why they are doing it. And this always helps me to shift perspective. And when I see that it hurts me, when I see that it triggers me, then I basically thank them for showing me what there is still to look at inside of myself. So, I don't know if that really helps with what you're going through, because I can sympathize. This is not a pleasant energy to be in and to work through, but like I said, it feels like you are actually already standing at the threshold. Yeah, you're ready to take that step. I think it's more a matter of when you're gonna take it and how smoothly you can move through it. Okay, so I was wondering, like, where are we going with this message? Like, what is the intention behind this message? Is there some kind of advice or anything that I can give you? And what they are showing me right now is that this is basically a question of the nervous system release. This is so funny. There is a contradictory message coming through. there's something about this is nothing that you can win with the mind, and then at the same time, but yeah, you have to win with your mind. And I believe what the meaning of that is this is a nervous system topic. That's the reason why it feels so incredibly uncomfortable and so unsafe to our whole being and our whole system. So the more you manage to move through it with your body and to release those stored energies, basically, it's really stored energy. The more you are able to release through your nervous system or through your body, the better and the less you care, actually. And this I can attest for myself. The more I'm releasing of all of that stuff from my body, the less I care. So yeah, this is not a mind thing, but it is a mind thing in a sense of being disciplined in not going down certain spirals, not listening to the old fears. You know that stuff. It feels like you feel like a veteran to me. You really feel like somebody who knows their stuff. Like I said, you spent a long time in that cave, the lone wolf, contemplating on life and existence, simply being. And oh, that's beautiful. Now you've come to a place in your life where you feel like, okay, what now? I have all this wisdom to share. I have all this knowledge. I was this hermit for, I don't know for how long. And it's actually wasted wisdom if I don't come down from my mountain and share the truth. So actually this feels more like maybe connecting a few dots, but mostly confirmation. Yeah, you're on the right track. You're doing the right thing. Take that step. You're ready. And yes, you can take it slow. I think it wouldn't work any other way for you. Like you feel really like a really, really, really slow moving energy. So yeah, the body, it moves slowly too. And that's fine. That's okay. And it's not a rush. It's not that, it's not a race. You've waited for so long. It doesn't really matter if it's a few more or less weeks. And yeah, like I said, like you cannot rush those nervous system processes. It feels like that there's maybe a little bit of that this is a cue for somebody or confirmation, but it really feels more like letting you know what's going on or reminding you of, hey, that's a thing too. You actually know that, but sometimes you seem to forget. You seem to forget to really listen to your body. And there's this stubbornness again. Maybe there's also something about a certain rigidity in your daily routines. I get something about like maybe a workout program or something like that. To take it slow when like on the days when when you feel like your nervous system is working overtime, that your body actually needs rest. And that you don't always have to stick to the schedule that you created for yourself. Your body is not a machine that follows a calendar or a schedule. it has its own rhythm, and that it's important to listen to that. I'm wondering why this resistance came through with the message that I originally wanted to record. And the moment I'm coming back to that message, I feel a tickle in my throat again. There's really something upsetting you about this. It's about spirit guides. I want to talk about spirit guides and how to connect with them, how to work with them, who they are really. But it seems like I'm not getting any more information about that. So maybe you know, maybe I will find out, maybe I won't. Anyways, it's time for me to close out this message and finally get to sleep. I hope this helps. I hope it serves. And I will be posting this tomorrow as soon as possible so it can reach you, it can find you. I hope it does wherever you are. And yeah, I could say I would love to hear from you, but you are my silent collective, so I know that probably there will not be much feedback, but that's okay. It's fine. I love you anyways. Yeah, it's good to have you here. Thanks for sharing this space with me. Thanks for doing the work. This is important. This is very important work you're doing here. And I really wish you all the best with that, and that you can work through all of this and find the courage to take that step for you and the world, it seems like. Alrighty, my loves. I wish you all the best, and I am looking forward to maybe seeing you in the next message. And until then, take care.